Lando Norris topped the timesheets as F1 testing officially got underway on Wednesday in Bahrain. It was an eventful day at the Bahrain International Circuit, featuring a big spin for Liam Lawson as well as a power outage. But before we dive into that and all other news, please remember to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all things F1. We're producing more videos per week now that the season's starting back up, so it's a great time to hit that subscribe button down below. McLaren are favourites for both titles in 2025, and the first day of testing will only have strengthened that, says Norris, set a time of 1 minute 30.4, almost half a second clear at the time he set it. George Russell and Max Verstappen would come close later in the afternoon, but Norris did end the day as the quickest man on track. However, in terms of pace, Verstappen was the quickest man at the Bahrain International Circuit. When going on a longer run, the reigning champion's pace was quicker than both Norris and Russell on the same compound, the medium, a promising sign for Red Bull, although we simply don't know what fuel load each team had, nor if they were doing similar programs. Red Bull advisor Dr. Helmut Marko was very positive after day one, however. Quote, "The long runs were very competitive. They were the fastest of everyone. The car is more predictable and reacts in a normal way. All the problems we had last year, I think they are now much better or have at least been fixed." Day 2 of testing is already underway as we speak. Max Verstappen will not be in action today, with Liam Lawson jumping behind the wheel for the entire day for Red Bull, and the same goes for Carlos Sainz Jr. at Williams, who's given Alex Albon the day off. For the 8 other teams, both drivers will share the same car. A very interesting development in Bahrain comes from Mercedes, who, according to Sky Sports F1's Ted Kravitz, have taken a lot of the design elements from recent Red Bull cars, but taken to a more extreme level. According to Kravitz, this can mainly be seen on the side pods, which feature the same vertical air intakes that Red Bull introduced on last year's Challenger. Quote, "It's a different design idea than Mercedes had last year. They have borrowed it off Red Bull Racing, that's fair to say. And there are some other design cues around this car which make it look a little bit like last year's Red Bull. It looks a very tidy package, quite different from what Mercedes have been used to. They've stayed with the pushrod front suspension, which is something that Ferrari and Red Bull do not have. And yeah, it's quite an interesting car." This man, George Russell, was very positive about the W16, saying it is the best any Mercedes that he has ever driven has felt around Bahrain. However, it must be said that the Mercedes in previous years famously performed very well in cool conditions, and this was very much the case when the Breton was pumping in his laps in the late afternoon in Bahrain. Temperatures dropped, and there was even a couple of splashes of rain out there. And finally, it has now been confirmed that there will be a 2 pit stop minimum at the Monaco Grand Prix in an attempt to spice up the race. The FIA World Motorsport Council has approved this change for the upcoming race in Monte Carlo, the most iconic, of course, of the F1 calendar. The race does suffer from its very narrow track, where it is nearly physically impossible to overtake with today's very wide F1 cars. In 2024, the top 10 finished exactly where they started, with the lap 1 red flag taking any strategic elements out of the race completely, as teams are allowed to swap tires at a restart. In an attempt to make the Grand Prix more exciting, the FIA will make teams come in more often to increase the strategic elements of it all. Quote, "Following recent discussions in the F1 Commission, a specific requirement for the Monaco GP has been approved, mandating the use of at least 3 sets of tires in the race, with a minimum of 2 different tire compounds to be used if it's a dry race." Well, that's it for this news video. Like I said, day 2 of testing is underway as we speak, so keep an eye on our website for every update surrounding that. For now, though, thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon with the very next one.